Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Inside Council blog. We had our last council meeting on the 15th of July, and today I am joined by our CEO, Steve Ford, and we'll be taking you through what we discussed at our last council meeting. Before I start, I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you to our outgoing council members who have worked so tirelessly over the last few years to support their profession. And we just want to take this opportunity to wish you well in your future endeavors. I'd also like to welcome our new council members, some of whom were able to join us for this first meeting. However, some people had annual leave planned, as you know, it's the annual leave season, and so we weren't able to be joined by all of our new members. But for those who were able to join us, we gave them a warm welcome to council. So this was our first council meeting with the new council, and we had a lot to get through. We started by taking an overview of our conference and our AGM, and I'll hand over to Steve now, who will talk us through some of those discussions.
Yeah, it was a busy June, wasn't it? So we did have our annual conference, and it was great that we had 1,200 people register for that. And I think the feedback that we've received, we're still evaluating it, but people found it a really inspiring, thoughtful couple of days. And I think it was really good to see the workforce strategy, our new workforce strategy, take centre stage there and really be the focus of the discussions. Then, of course, we had our AGM on the 27th of June. And it was great, actually, that the proposed changes to the Articles of Association for BAOT were all passed by members in the vote. And then subsequently, the RCOT articles were voted on by council. So I think we're making progress against our governance review, and which is really aimed at strengthening our governance, really making us fit for purpose, but ultimately making sure that our members feel confident that the organisation is well run. So there's more work to do on that, and we are now planning the second phase of that. I think there was some useful reflections in council, wasn't there, Odeth, around the kind of attendance,
the member engagement and attendance, yes.
Yeah,
because
council realised it was a great event and lots.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Steve.
a great event, lots to celebrate, but there weren't many people there. So I think it would be good to have that kind of conversation with members. Does that matter? Does that mean people are happy and people are finding other ways to engage, or is there more that we could perhaps do to
increase that engagement piece?
Yeah. So I think that is something to look at. And it was really interesting, actually, the conversation with council about, are there other ways to do things? Does the annual conference stay online? Do we start to have some more face-to-face events? Could the annual conference fit in with, could the AGM fit in with that? So I think it was great that council gave a bit of a steer for some options for us to think about for the next 12 months. And yeah, it'd be great to get feedback from members on that. And I guess that leads us into the next bit of the discussion, which was really about our planning for next year. We're just starting our budget setting process. So it's always really good for council to give us a good steer on what they're looking for us to achieve when we set the budget. This year we've slipped a little bit behind because of some of our income targets we haven't met, some delays with renting out the building, which we're just now catching up on, and our membership growth not quite as quick as our rapid targets. So we're kind of working through that, but we kind of agreed with council what the shape of our finances need to look like over the next few years. So that was really helpful. And as part of that discussion, actually, we had a good discussion around ethical banking. And also our investments and how we make sure that we can feel confident that our money's being put to use in an ethical way. Our investment managers actually have got a really strong framework around that. And council talked about whether we want to take that further. And I think there was a real appetite to ask our members actually what they think about some of these issues. So watch this space, I think, for opportunities to have your say
Indeed.
there.
Thanks, Steve. Yes, we realize that it's really important to hear our members' voice when we're making some of these decisions as council. And so we'll be coming back to you, as Steve said, to talk about some of those issues. So we also knew that we had a report on our membership from council, and we were pleased to hear that our membership continues to grow. However, it's happening at a rate that is a little bit slower than what we expected. So we're running a range of initiatives and to raise awareness of the benefits that our membership offers and the value that our membership brings to our colleagues. So we will, in this last quarter, we've introduced new services for our members, such as our Maximize Your Membership webinars, which have been well received, and we offered a transition into retirement webinar. Again, we've had very positive feedback from that. And Steve is going to talk to us a little bit about our new membership model that we're proposing.
Yeah, I mean, it's early days on this, but I think we have had feedback that perhaps our membership structure is a little bit clunky. Our categories have been with us for a number of years. So we just started to talk about some principles that we could perhaps use to develop a new member model. What are the categories that would make sure it's simple, it's easy to understand, people understand what benefits are available for them. I guess it's moving from a one-size-fits-all approach to something that's a bit more kind of personalized to where people are in their kind of careers and what they're looking for. So it was really useful to get agreement around some principles. We're now working them up, and we'll share that with council kind of later on, looking to kind of implement some changes in the new year.
Yes, and all the changes that we're looking to implement actually links in with our transformation program. We've been running this transformation program for a little while now, and we've had some good updates from the team. We're looking at improving our membership offer and the digital experience, because we've always been told by our members that our website is a bit clunky, it's hard to find stuff, and so we're looking to do some work around improving that. So council approved the budget, and we've now identified a partner who will support us to develop our website and our member portal, and we'll move forward with this over the summer. So watch the space.
Yeah, and
we'll be back in touch. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, and it was good, wasn't it, as that discussion to talk about OT news and you know, a fantastic member benefit, I think, and some great content. But I think there was a conversation about, are we really kind of maximizing the value of that? Could some of that content be made available digitally? Would that mean that it's easier to find? I think at the moment, you know, there was a good article on children's services, but you know, you think it might have been 2021 and you have to flick through all of the editions to find it. You know, how could we make that much more easy to find? How do we perhaps add audio visual content to some of the stuff, interviews with the people involved? I think there's a lot of options there. So I think we're ambitious around how we could really kind of maximize this fantastic content. So we are looking at some options there. And again, you know, with all of these things, we want to start with feedback from members. So we will be looking to talk to people and just to test out some assumptions around how we could move that forward.
Yes. We've also, as I said, it was a very busy council meeting. So we also spent some time looking at reimagining our communities and our specialist sections. We've had a good update on the plans already on the foot to develop the new communities model and the transition plans from our current community model, which is our specialist sections. So our vision is to have a more inclusive, accessible, and sustainable approach to communities that reflect the diverse needs of all our memberships and our professional lives, and to explore how technology can help us and support us with our networking needs. So there's been a lot of detailed work with our stakeholders and our existing volunteers to explore the barriers and some of the challenges with our current model and some of the opportunities that we have to develop this new model. So with this new model, we'll be able to give members access to a virtual community engagement platform where they can connect with each other, access their regional networks, be able to join practice networks to connect based on shared interests. All of this will be part of their RCOT membership without the need for additional subscription fees to join.
Yeah, and it was, I mean, I think, what I heard at the meeting was council being very excited and positive about the initiative, but at the same time mindful that we need to take people with us on this journey, and really kind of do it together, particularly with our fantastic volunteers who play such a key role in running our specialist sections and regions.
So we then spoke a little bit. We had an update from Unison. Nick Entwistle, our Unison rep, joined us, and we spoke a little bit about some closer joint working with BAOT and Unison. Now, this was brought up by one of our, in our roadshows when we spoke about our governance arrangement. A couple of our members spoke about that closer working relationship. So Nick gave us an update in terms of the OT stewards panel elections, with several new appointees being made. We have 12 Unison regions, and each has an OT stewards forum with a designated member of staff who's there to help to support the BAOT stewards and to encourage them to network, share experiences, etc. We do know that we have a few gaps in those 12 areas and regions, and so we're encouraging our members, if you're interested, do get in touch with your local area and we'll be able to support you to join us. So our OT panel is made up of OT stewards nominated by the regional forum to provide a link between the experiences and concerns of our members and stewards and to help to shape national policy. So we're looking forward to some closer working, and we will be updating you in due course as we go.
So we then talked about our workforce strategy. As members will know, we launched our first ever workforce strategy with, I think, a really ambitious and clear vision for how we want to position the profession in the future. So we're now on to implementation. We've been hosting UK-wide events for members. We've been having roundtable discussions with politicians. Some really great opportunities now, I think, with a change of government to really kind of position our priorities here. We've launched the first nation-specific action plan in Wales, and that landed really well. And we'll follow that with nation plans for the other countries soon. So I think there was a sense of encouragement that this is going well, and lots of people are getting involved, which is great.
And finally, we had a discussion around the history of occupational therapy within the United Kingdom. So this discussion, we talked about creating a resource that documents this history. Given our role of council as the custodian of our professions within the UK, we felt it was really important that we document and we celebrate the profession's history. We know we have a very rich heritage of occupational therapy in the UK, and so we're looking to do some work around this area. Councillors agreed that a more detailed proposal will be brought to future meetings for agreement. And we just wanted to let our members know that this is a really important area that we're looking to develop. And so, as always, if you do have any comments, concerns, or any ideas in terms of how we could do this, we'll be very happy to hear them. So watch this space. We'll be back in touch with further updates as we go. As I said, a jam-packed session for council this time. Thank you for listening. We hope you have a flavor of some of the information that we discussed and some of the decisions that we made at council. Do get in touch and let us know how you found this blog. And if you've got any other feedback that you'd like to share, please do email me at share@rcot.co.uk. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you.